I'm live. Just waiting for people to get here. Hello. Hey, it's Christiana. How are you? How are you doing? Woohoo! Hello, Melanie V. How are you doing? I'm so glad you're here too. Yay. Hopefully my sound is better this time. Oh my gosh. Hey, Danny, how are you? And then, oh my gosh, nobody said in the chat that my sound was like crap in my last live stream. I thought that I double checked my settings like twice, that it was using my laptop mic and not my headphones mic, and I just like threw my headphones down and nobody said anything. So if anything like that happens, just let me know that I am like not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Hey, Jen. This is going to be fun. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. You guys are all here. Yeah. If my sound never works or if something's going wrong, let me know in the comments, in the chat, and I will let you know, or I will try to fix it. Yeah. So I'm here for life updates. I realize that there's some things that have happened recently, and even maybe not so recently, maybe like more than a month ago, that I never actually formally announced. And so I thought this would be a good just like chat and let you know what's going on. I wrote some notes down, some topics to talk about. Oh my goodness. So I've been busy today, and so I wrote some topics down, and then we'll just talk. And like, if you all have any questions for me, it's just you and me in the chat. I'm not going back and forth looking at something else like I was last time. So yeah. So anyway, you guys probably, maybe a lot of you probably want to know how my mom is doing. So she's doing pretty well. My parents just went away for a couple of days, and they came back, and now they're actually at a concert. My dad got my mom tickets to a concert for her birthday way back in July, and so today is apparently my mom's birthday, I guess, in October. Yeah, she's doing really well. And the formal announcement is she is officially on a transplant list. So, and actually, she was first put on a transplant list for her liver. And then I thought it was going to be at the same time, but then like a little while later, she got on a list for a kidney as well. So she'll get them at the same time, because the donation is usually comes from one person. So that's the part that I don't like to think about, but I mean, things happen to us. And so yeah, so she is officially on a list for a liver and kidney, and she was kind of in two different spots from two different hospitals, and one of them, which was the last one that we went to, and is actually the closest one to us, they're the ones that actually put her on the list first, and then the other hospital, they're still waiting on something. I don't really know what, but yeah, she's on a list, and I think their average wait time is like 3 to 6 months, I think. And it's already been at least 1 month, and I can't remember. My dad told me what number spot she's in, but I don't know how important that is, because if somebody much sicker than my mom gets put on the list, they'll be ahead of her. So I don't know how important the number is, but I do remember the number was like not near as high as I thought it would be. I thought she'd be like 200 down on the list, but I think it was like 20 or less. So it's really good news, and we're just kind of waiting around for a liver. That sounds weird, but it's kind of what we're doing. And she's doing really great. She's every time she goes to the doctor, they tell her that she's in really good really good condition, all things considered. And so if they didn't know how bad it really was, she wouldn't even be considered for a transplant. But they know how bad it really is, even though her tests are showing that she's doing really good. So, yeah, it's all good news with that. So, yay. And I don't know if anybody wants to ask about that. I mean, I guess I've probably answered everything with that one, but my next topic is just working. I've been working a lot. I worked today. I subbed in 8th grade. That was hard. 8th grade is like almost as hard as kindergarten, I think, in like 2 completely different ways. They're almost the same amount of difficult. But they were actually really good. It was just their schedule was all mixed up today. And so they didn't know what was going on, and I didn't know what was going on. And so anyway, yeah, 8th grade is no, they're pretty good. And I've had them a couple of times before. Anyway, so my 7th grade daughter had a sub today, and it really sounds like they slaughtered her. Oh yeah, I have actually, some of the teachers have said the 7th grade at that school is a little bit worse than the 8th grade. Usually when I sub, it's like 7th and 8th grade teachers have all 7th and 8th grade. But I only had 8th grade today just because their schedule was all mixed up. So, my brother is an 8th grade language arts teacher. I hear some stories. Yeah, so I was actually 8th grade science today, and they just had book work, and then their school has every student has an iPad, so they use Google Classroom, and they had an assignment on there along with some book work, and so and they were supposed to do it independently. So I was like, no talking. Usually I would let them talk because I'm nice, but I was like, you can't talk, but if you're quiet and you work hard, then I'll stop 10 minutes early and just let you talk. I said, I told them, I said, I know that talking's more important than science. And they all agreed with me. So they liked that I let them talk for a little bit at the end of class. Yeah, but luckily the day went well. Tomorrow is my last day at Keeneland, so I'm gonna miss the extra income, but I'm really excited just because, oh my goodness, like the drive, it's a beautiful drive, and it's really nice, and it's nice to have some time to listen to a book on CD, and I've read 2, I think, this month, but it's just so long. I'm so tired of driving, and I could have worked yesterday. I should have driven to Keeneland to work yesterday, but I didn't. I just didn't go. I was like, I just don't want to drive. It was worth not making $100 to not drive. So I don't know if anybody else has ever felt like it is not worth making money to go to work today, but that was kind of how I felt. So being in debt doesn't bother me as much as it used to. Do you find yourself feeling like the same way? I don't know what you mean by bother. It bothers me just because I want to get it done. I want to move on with my life and just not worry about my student loans anymore. But as far as bother me in the sense that I was having trouble making ends meet when I was living by myself, there was no way I was going to make traction because I couldn't even hardly pay for, I was living off of ramen noodles and bologna and peanut butter and jelly because I just could not afford decent food. And I also had credit card debt at the same time when the last time I lived on my own. And so that really bothered me in a different way when I was just trying to make do and didn't think that credit card debt, just kind of thought of it as that's part of my life is paying off this debt. But now, even though I haven't had a job in months, I still feel extremely financially secure. Even though I am still really in debt just because budgeting and taking care of my finances, I don't have to worry about it. And so that's kind of, I'm not sure if that's what you meant, but that's kind of how I feel. Oh yeah. Not making money worth for the drive. Yeah. I just needed a day. I really did. Yeah. Sometimes your time is worth more than that. Definitely. My mental health is better. My debt is down to $19K. That's awesome. So you have, well, not counting the $100,000 that my parents have promised to pay, like, that, I mean, you have about half of the debt that I have. So that's really awesome. I'm so proud of you. Yeah. I can't wait to keep paying off my debt. But I'm glad it's not bothering you as much either. But let it bother you at least enough in the way that you keep at it and you keep plugging away and just get rid of it. That is awesome. You feel financially secure without full-time employment, but also crazy at the same time. Really shows how much budgeting can do. Yeah. I mean, I was working full-time and was still working my part-time side hustles at Keeneland and then Churchill a little bit less than I do now, just because I would only come if I absolutely knew that I was working. Just the way that it works for you to work out there is kind of weird. But I still had those part-time jobs, and then I had a job in the summer, and I actually didn't get a job this past summer. I was concentrating on YouTube and on looking for a teaching job. Of course, that didn't really work out, but even with all that extra income living on my own, I couldn't make ends meet. And I was budgeting, at least in 2016, I started budgeting, because I went on a trip to Europe. That went on my credit cards, but I had to pay down my credit cards in order to put the trip on my credit cards. So yeah, this is before budgeting. And so I started budgeting then. And then once I got back from that trip, I kept budgeting because that was the only way that I was making do with the money that I had. So budgeting makes all the difference. It really does. I also sold something on Poshmark this last month. I had this really, really cute red skirt that I absolutely loved, but it never looked right on me. It just did not cut, on my legs. It just was at a weird cut on my legs, and so I hardly ever wore it, and I've had it for years. I sold it and I made $14, so I'm super excited about that. I need to start posting more stuff on Poshmark because I thought, I never wear jewelry, and I have a ton of really cute jewelry and I never wear it, and so I need to post that on Poshmark. And there's lots of stuff that I can post on there, and I'm not getting around to it, but yeah. Yay! Yay for selling on Poshmark. I have trouble with people on the selling apps not showing up. Okay, the thing with Poshmark is that people don't have to show up for that. Now, Poshmark takes a cut of what you sell. So I actually sold that skirt for $18, and they paid the buyer also paid the shipping. So I think they pay like $6 or so for the shipping. And I just print out a label, and I don't have to worry about paying for shipping. I literally print out the label, and then I tape it on, and then I wrap it up in a free, here, let me show you. I have all my Poshmark stuff. So you get these for free at the post office, and then I print out the label that Poshmark sends me when something sells, and then I just tape it on, and then I wrap it up in the package, and then I just drop it in the mailbox, and that's it. And so you don't have to worry about people showing up. The problem is that things just kind of tend to sit on Poshmark for a while. So I have this whole basket full of clothes that are posted and listed on Poshmark that aren't selling. So you just have to wait around for it. So and they do take a cut. So there's a percentage cut. I'm not sure what it was, but I think the skirt sold for $18, but I made $14 and some change. So they take a cut, but I feel like that's worth it. Than meeting strangers. That kind of scares me. I don't want to meet strangers. I don't know what's going to happen to me if I meet up with strangers. Although, and you don't have to worry about people lowballing you. Although they try to do that sometimes. I've had a couple people do that, but I just tell them no. I'm like, no, because I'll lose money. Because if you give them a discount on the shipping, then that eats into my cut. So I try not to give a discount on shipping if I don't have to, just because that makes it even less. And so there was something that was listed for $5 and somebody wanted a discount on that. It's like, it's $5. So, so I just had to tell them no, but I don't have to worry about it. I just post stuff and then let it sit. And then when something sells, then I can put it in the mail. Another good news, which I don't have much to talk about right now, but more good news is I have an interview on Monday. So yay. And I don't want to talk too much about it because this is like a public forum and, you know, that I'm going to leave this live stream up when I'm done with it. So there's not a whole lot to say about it. I do have to submit a lesson, which I've never had to do that before. So I'm a little bit nervous about doing that just because there's a lot of components that go to writing up a lesson. So I always meet at a gas station or grocery store parking lot to feel safe, but it's becoming a thing for police stations to have certain parking spots with cameras on them for people to meet. Oh, I didn't know about that. Well, I mean, a lot of parking lots nowadays have cameras, but I don't know. It's nice that hopefully they would be caught because they'd be on camera, but like they can still do something bad and then run away and then get caught later and where am I? I don't know. It just scares me. So, I mean, I know like a lot of people actually meet at like a police station and stuff. I would probably be willing to do that, but it just freaks me out. I don't know. If you sell things on like Facebook Marketplace and things where you actually have to take the item to the person, what was my question? I was going to ask you a question. How long do things sit on there before something tends to sell? So how long does it sit? And then like, do you have to repost it in order for people to see it? Because I feel like that's a thing. And I don't know if that's true. I might be thinking of like Craigslist. You have to repost like at least once a day for things to be seen on Craigslist. And sometimes only one day, sometimes forever. Do you have to repost it though too? Because that's like an extra step, extra work, like daily work that I don't really want to do. I never repost. I've had garage sales. I've thought about having a garage sale. I just feel like in order for things to sell at a garage sale, it has to be like pennies. Like you make pennies at a garage sale. It's basically a garage sale is a way to really just get rid of stuff before you take it to a donation center. That's kind of how I feel about garage sales. The lower I price it, the faster it goes. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like I want to make a little bit off of it. Like if I sold this skirt, if I set that at $18 at a garage sale, nobody would buy it. Like, I mean, it's a nice skirt. It's in great condition, barely been worn, but nobody's going to buy it at a garage sale for $18. But they bought it on Poshmark for $18. But I had to sit on it for several months. I think I posted it like in January, February. So I don't know. Hey, Q's here. We're talking about selling stuff. No to garage sales. Well, like for my bigger furniture, I would be willing to do that. I'd be willing to sell stuff in a garage sale for my bigger furniture just so that I didn't have to haul it anywhere. And that's stuff that like, even though you sell it for like pennies on the dollar, it's still at least a few dollars. Whereas like clothing, it's pennies for a piece of clothing. Like it'd almost be worth it more for me to just keep this shirt that I don't want and wear it or just leave it in my closet. I don't know. My type of conversation. Do you sell stuff, Q, like on you've sold stuff on eBay before. We're talking about Poshmark and Facebook Marketplace and all that. Like I'm scared to sell stuff on Facebook Marketplace. I kind of feel like also Facebook Marketplace is like, and Craigslist is like one step up from a garage sale as far as how much money you could get back for something. So that's another reason why I'm not huge on wanting to sell things on there, because people want stuff for pennies on the dollar, and I'd rather just keep my stuff than feel like I'm making nothing on it. So hi, Vanessa. Who's Vanessa? Is that aspiring to be debt-free? I don't know. I used to design and sell jewelry too. I wish I was that creative. I really do. Like, there's so much jewelry now that I see. I watched a few beauty people on YouTube, not a whole lot, but I watch a lot of teachers too, and they'll do like outfits of the day for like a whole week, and they'll talk about the outfits that they're wearing and the jewelry that they wear, and it's always like super cute stuff. Yeah. Okay. Well, hi. I'm glad to know your name, Vanessa. Yeah. So those are the things that I like to edit out. Yeah. So I've never utilized Facebook Marketplace or Poshmark, eBay, and OfferUp. I just posted at Craigslist this week trying to sell some dining room chairs. Yeah, the thing with Craigslist, you have to post every single day. I tried to sell my couch when I first moved home, and I posted it once, and I knew like if it didn't sell that day, then it wasn't going to sell, and then I never posted it again, and stuff gets buried. You have to post it every day. That's just too much work. I'm going to post it one time. Somebody can come and find it. Even if it takes a while, just you'll find it when you need it. So yeah. So I'm almost running out of topics, but we're free to talk about whatever we want. So I was going to talk about a little bit about my weight loss after my video I posted yesterday. So okay, on the topic of the job search, no idea how difficult it is to get into this, but with your master's, have you ever thought about doing education consulting? I that sounds like a real thing, but I don't really know what that is. So I don't really know about that. I don't know what it is. I wouldn't know how to get into it. So if anybody had any ideas, let me know. Craigslist is no longer a thing in my area. Like, we still have it, but no one uses it because everyone posts on Facebook now. I guess I haven't checked Facebook, or I haven't checked Craigslist in years, actually. So I've sold one thing on Facebook Marketplace. It took a month to sell. Okay. Evening, Steve. Hello. Thank you for joining us. We're talking about selling stuff and just giving life updates. I've talked about my mom. I don't know if you know about my mom, the situation with my mom, talking about working and making money and all of that. So yeah. And then I also had a topic to talk about my weight loss in conjunction with my video that I posted yesterday. So I actually I've thought about, I'm all stuffed up. Oh, I hope you're not getting sick either. I'm really afraid of getting sick subbing in the schools because a lot of times, well, not every time, because most of the jobs that I have for subbing, they're ahead of time. So it's the teachers are either out at PD or they have something else or a personal day or something. But if I get called in last minute, I'm subbing for a teacher that is probably sick, and who knows what kind of germs are around. So I'm afraid of getting sick from subbing for a teacher. So, oh, there goes Lucy. What are you doing, Lou? Come here. You want to say hello? Hi. I love that dog. Look, I bought this sign this week. I'll tell you about it. Lucy, no, don't lay on my pillow. Silly dog. Lay down. No, you can't see. Okay, I bought this sign. It says spooky, and it has big giant eyes. I bought that at Target this week, and I'll talk about that on Money Monday. So I got really excited about it. I think it's cute. Don't lay on my pillow. If you have a dog, does your dog lay on your pillow? This is a new thing for her, as far as I can tell. So, okay, Lucy has... The problem is Lucy has her own little bed, and usually I keep that on the floor, and then I'll put an extra blanket on the bed for her. but all of those are in the dryer right now. They went through the laundry. So all of the blankets and stuff that she uses they're all in the laundry. So I think that's why she's kind of upset about that. She'll stay off of it. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I keep a blanket. My cat lays on clothes we leave on the floor. Yeah, my dog do that. My dog crawled in between my legs one night at 3 a.m. Lucy, oh my gosh, this dog, she leaves me, I'm not kidding you, like this much space on my bed. I usually sleep on that side because the door is over there, but she leaves me like this much space, and then like the whole rest of the bed is hers because she's like right up against me. I have to push her over every night. Buy a regular pillow. Oh, okay. Well, I kind of need new pillows, so maybe I just give her my old one. But I don't want her to think that kind of pillow is okay to sleep on. So like the dog bed is kind of pillowish that she has, and it's a bit bigger than a regular pillow. But it's different. So I wouldn't want her to think that sleeping on pillows is okay. This is a new thing. I think she's just lost because I don't have an extra blanket on the bed and it's chilly today. So my dog sleeps on one side of the bed and she allows me to sleep on the other side to tell her to move over. I like have to push her. And luckily she's little, so I just like shove her over and then she'll like groan and she gets over it. Lucy with the cameo. Hello. Tegan is always cozied up in my bed. She never sleeps in the dog bed we got. Yeah, well, I put her bed usually goes on the floor for my parents' dog. JJ, she sleeps on the floor. And so I put that pillow down for her. She's really old, so she's like 15, I think. She's a very old dog, but sometimes acts like she's like 7. She acts like a puppy sometimes. So, but my bed's a bit much for her to try to get up onto. So, my cats have one side of the bed and have their own pillows too. Not spoiled enough. No, Lucy's not spoiled at all. Yeah. Okay. So this is my last topic, and then we can just talk about whatever you all want to talk about. But with weight loss in regards to my video yesterday, I'm considering joining a gym, but like I don't want to spend money, but I kind of feel like I need extra help. It's not so much that I want to spend the money for motivation, because some people do that. It's like, well, if I'm spending money on this gym, then I have to go. But I kind of feel like I need extra help on like what to do, especially with my my left knee and my right ankle. Like they just hurt. And so I don't know. I don't want to spend the money, but at the same time I feel like I kind of have to. Only join the gym if you actually go. Yeah, that's the thing. I have to go. But like, do they help you if you don't like if you don't pay like for a personal trainer? Like, do you have to pay for a personal trainer for them to help you, or can you just go and like somebody there will help you? How's it going? It's going good. How about you? I pay $20 per month at my local Retro Fitness. Planet Fitness has a deal now where you pay $99. Ooh, Lucy. I'm sure you can hear the dogs. There are 3 dogs here. My brother dropped his dog off tonight. So Planet Fitness has a deal now where you pay $99 and have free access all year long. No credit card on file needed. That sounds like a good deal. They're normally like $10 a month. So that would save like $20, I guess. Get a gym buddy. Working out is always easier. I don't have anybody to go to the gym with. I just don't. You might get a free intro session, but usually you have to pay. Yeah. I just I don't know what I need to do for me, as especially with having this. They're not injuries, but they will be if I, keep trying to work out. And, I mean, just walking around the classroom all day it really bothers my knee, and then my ankle is also hurting as well. And it's like one on each one. So like if I try to stand on one leg to alleviate the pain, then it's my knee. And if I try to stand on this side, then it's my ankle. And I feel like I can't win. I woke my dog up. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. My gym has classes included and the instructors are super helpful. Okay. Well, I was thinking about going gym shopping. I thought that might be an interesting video. Like shop for gym. There's at least 3 gyms that I can think of that are fairly close to me that I would be willing to drive to and aren't too far away. And they're run by 3 completely different places. So I may meet a buddy at the gym. That would be nice. Yeah. I don't know, but I'd be too shy to like introduce myself. So somebody else would have to say hey first, because I'm shy, but then I'm also like, I don't want to bother you because, if you come up to me, that's fine. And I'd be excited about that, but I don't want to bother you, especially something like working out. Like a lot of people do that and they get in their zone, and I wouldn't want to bother anybody. Go to the gym, be your friendly, amazing, outgoing self, and you'd be surprised at the people you meet. I don't want to bother anybody. I've got bad knees. Yeah, my mom had both of her knees replaced, and then my dad also has pretty bad knees too. But he's refusing to even consider getting a knee replacement because he's like, I'd rather go through a little bit of pain. I don't think it's too bad right now because he saw what my mom went through, and I didn't even think that she had that much of an issue. But I think when it comes to pain, I think my dad's more of a wimp than my mom is anyway. So he's like, I don't want to go through that. But yes, to the gym shopping video. See, that would be fun. Do a rating system: facilities, instructors, equipment, gym members. Yeah, because I want to know like what kind of things do they have. There's one that I know has a pool, but I don't know like what kind of class. Like classes is a big thing. If I like sign up for classes, then I would like to go to classes because then it's like I have somebody helping me without paying a personal trainer. But some places will charge you for extra classes and some places won't. So there's a lot into that. And I've never belonged to a gym before. The only gym I've ever gone to is my college gym. So yeah, I broke my ankle on 8/22, so I've been gym shopping because I need elliptical for no impact workout. Oh my goodness. I hope you're okay and healing well. I have actually, my ankles have never been very strong. I've never broken any bones whatsoever, but I have sprained both ankles and one of them twice. So I don't have the strongest ankles. They have saunas too. Oh yeah, I should look for that. In some of the classes, I've met people bonding over how klutzy we are. Yeah, that would be me. That would totally be me. We're not best buddies, but definitely someone friendly to smile at in the room. Yeah, that's important. Just like seeing a familiar face, and you never know. So yeah. So I said that this would be like a Q&A as well. So I don't know if anybody has any questions. I don't know. I feel like I'm forthcoming with like all the information. So I'd like tell you too much, more than you wanted to know. Is there information that I have said that you did not want to hear? If you're watching this, don't forget to like it because it helps. That's an amazing question. What have I said that you did not want me to say? That's interesting. Yeah. I don't know. I'm an oversharer. I talk too much too. Yeah. So Have I said something you did not want to hear? I don't know. I edit out so much too. You guys have no idea. Some of the videos though, like Money Monday is so easy for me to do because I keep the notes on my phone and I just kind of tell you what I spent, but I still cut out like a bunch. Like a 6-minute video will be like 15 minutes. Like I cut out a lot. Anyone ever done a mystery shops? Sensible Living with Money Mom, she actually does those. She's in charge of like assigning people shops and stuff. I think my mom's done a couple, but I've never done any myself. I signed up to do a long time ago and I still get emails for shops coming up, but I've never done it. And yeah, it seems pretty cool, but I don't know because I've never done it, but I don't know how much work is involved, like with typing up a report kind of thing. So, Vanessa, can you tell us, like, since you do them, can you tell us how much work is involved in like typing up a report or whatever it is that you have to do? Is it a lot of work? I have to sneeze, but it's not coming out. I've done 2 mystery shops and was so nervous. Yeah, I'd be nervous too. Most of them are pretty easy. Okay. Well, look into that. I don't know what companies to use, but you can always ask Money Mom and she can tell you because that's what she does. Like that's her job is signing mystery shops and stuff. A lot of times you're required to buy certain things and you get reimbursed. Yeah, I mean, I'd be all right with that because I would just kind of like put it in my budget and I'd be okay with that. They give you a questionnaire and then you fill it out by selecting the answers. Oh, okay. I was under the impression that you had to like write a report, like paragraph style, you know, I don't know. Like I'm thinking 10-page, not 10-page paper, but like, you know, a couple of paragraphs kind of thing. But oh yeah, that's right. Money Mom is also writing an ebook about it. She is. Yeah, you're right about that. I use Field Agent, the little jobs add up. No, not like that. Okay. It's not like paragraph form. Okay, that's partially why I've shied away from it. How does someone get a credit card when there is a 0 credit score? I haven't had a credit card in 10 years, so I'm out of radar. It's been difficult to obtain one. You could try a secured credit card. It's not something that I'm too excited about because I don't like the idea of paying somebody to hold my money ransom because it's kind of what you do. You pay them to lend you your own money essentially, but it is a way to build up some credit. And I don't know how to get out of a secured credit card once you do have money. So not money, but a credit score. But I know that a secured credit card is one way to kind of like get in the door with that. Most of them, mystery shops are selecting answers, but some do require a few sentences on certain questions. Like you would fill in the person's name and then have boxes to select their hair color, height, etc. Oh my gosh, that makes me nervous. I can't remember those things. I'd forget. Like I don't pay attention. I'm not a detailed. Okay, I'm a very detailed oriented person, but when it comes to like describing people and stuff, like I don't know. I don't I don't see those details. I'm more detailed in like planning and things that I'm trying to get accomplished. But when it comes to just like seeing things around the room or like noticing things, I'm not very good at that. I use my notes app on my phone as soon as I walk away. Oh, yeah, okay, that's smart. And I almost always have my phone out anyway and have my notes app out because I'm typing in what I spent for Money Monday. So that's a good idea. Didn't even think about that. Observant. Yes. Okay. That's true. I am detail oriented, but I am not observant. Not at all. Sometimes I'm the same way. Yeah. Well, okay. Part of my problem is that I know that I'm not observant, so I just don't try. Um, yeah. So people that say like, "Oh, I can never remember people's names," so you don't really try, you don't bother. Well, that's me. I do that. But if you actually tried, you'd be better than you thought you were. So, but it's yeah, I just kind of let myself be on that. It's like, well, I don't notice things anyway. Although today I did notice something today. I was subbing in 8th grade, like I said earlier, and I don't know if it was mean or not, but a kid had put, so they have like pencil pouches, not like pencil boxes, but like pouches. And there was a pouch on top of the projector. And I was like, why is this up here? Because I thought it was going to fall and hit somebody on the head, actually, because of the way the projector was leaning. And so I went over and I took it down. I was like, whose is this? And this girl who had asked me to go to the art room, she thought she left her pencil pouch in the art room. She had asked me earlier. She's like, I've been looking for that for an hour. So somebody stuck it up there, but I noticed it, and I don't normally notice things like that. So, yeah. Pilates is great for injuries. Otherwise, if interested in joining a gym, maybe consult a physiotherapist first. Love Pilates and dance. Music is great stress reliever and sends me to my happy place. Yeah, I like music and dancing, and I've done, I don't know that it's Pilates. I have P90X3 that I did years ago, and there's like a Pilates-ish video. I think it like combines something else with it, so it's not like strictly Pilates. I keep getting denied for a credit card. I have no debt, but no history and a 700 score. Oh, I don't know anything about that, because once my score hit 700, then I've been approved for every credit card I've applied for. Not that I'm like applying for a lot, but I have gotten a couple of extra ones in the last year. And well, I don't know. Each one is kind of different, but according to my credit card that shows me my credit score on there, 700 is like a fair score, and then 701 is good. Go figure. So, no debt and no history. I don't know how you have a 700 score. If you have a car, I don't know if you ever leased a car. A lot of people think that bills go into your credit score, but that's not true. If you've ever had student loans, all of that goes into it. This is a good point. If I actually try to be better at, if you try, you'll be better. Doesn't mean you'll be the best, but you'll be better than you think you are. But I don't really try either, so. If I'm doing a mystery shop, I pay attention, but if I'm regular shopping, I couldn't tell you any of the info. Yeah. Yep. Just like I said, if I'm getting paid, I'll remember. I'd probably remember a lot better too. If people paid me to remember people's names, I'd be really good at it. Yeah. I have no idea either, Steve. I'm so sorry. 2020 goals. Oh my goodness. You are thinking way ahead. I'm not 100% sure yet. I know that when I revamp my goals going into 2020, I am going to take some out. I like doing 7 different areas and feeling balanced in that. But some of them, like spending time with my family and having like a family goal, I don't know what kind of goal I would have other than spending time with my family. And I spend a lot of time with my family because I live with them, and I try to make it a point now to eat dinner with them, but that's really easy to do. Like, instead of eating dinner while I'm on YouTube watching videos, I just eat dinner with my parents, and I don't know. So I'm thinking about just kind of revamping my goals and just doing like a few of them. I know my book goal, my intellectual goal, I am going to change that up and read probably at least one nonfiction book a month, maybe. Or maybe like every other book. is a nonfiction book, just to get more of that in there. Now that I'm in the habit of reading regularly, then I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to see where I am as far as job wise it just kind of depends on where I am at the end of the year. So if I have a job at the end of the year, depending on how much I'm getting paid, is how much I'll set a goal for how much I want to pay by the end of the year towards my debt. And then as far as weight loss, depends on where I am and how I'm doing. And so those are like paying off debt and weight loss. Those are two goals that I will keep going into 2020, but I'm not sure exactly what they will be once the new year starts until I see where I am at the end of the year. Because we've still got 2 whole months. So that's a good chunk of the year to get through. And then some of the goals I think I'm just going to kind of do away with. Like I don't really know that I need a set career goal unless I don't have a job. Then I'm still going to have the goal to get a job, but I don't feel like I need to update monthly on that. And then family, I'll probably get rid of that one. My social goal, I'll probably get rid of that one just because I've joined a lot more social things lately, and so I don't really feel like I really need to work on that. So I've joined choir at church. I'm going to the monthly book discussion at church with my church, because I quit the book club that I was in because it was with my last school, and so people that I worked with there, and I just feel kind of weird. Plus it's like kind of far, and I feel weird kind of joining them when I left that job, and it had nothing to do with any of those people that I was in the book club with, but I just feel weird. It's just, I feel like I'd rather have a clean break with that. So I quit that book club, but they don't call themselves a book club. They just say it's a book discussion, but it's basically a book club, and they meet once a month at my church. So I'm doing that. I have my mastermind group that I meet with once a week. And so I'm being very social. And so I don't really need to update that. But at the beginning of this year, I wasn't. Like, I would go a couple months without talking to any friends, and it was just me and my family. And so I set that as, I thought that was important to make a goal. And so yeah, I think I'm going to drop some of the goals and then just keep a few, but for the most part, I won't know what they're going to be until the end of the year. I left college about a year and a half in, paid in cash until then. Steve, I really have no idea. Have you looked into a secured credit card? That's the only other thing that I can think of, but I'm not sure how you have a 700 score at all. And then I'm not sure how you have that score and keep getting denied for credit. So I'm not really sure. Do you tithe? How, when it's literally impossible living paycheck to paycheck? It's hard, and I feel guilty not helping. I get you on that. I do. And I am in a church that does not require a 10% tithe. There are churches out there, I don't know if you know this, but I've heard of this in Dave Ramsey Facebook groups that I'm in, people talking about their church. There are churches that they actually, when you apply, I guess, but when you sign up to join the church, they want to know how much you make, and then they expect you to give 10%. I personally don't feel like that's giving from the heart, because you're just kind of required. And I know that it's something that God asks you to do, but God also asks you to give with a happy heart and a cheerful giver. And so my church just asks us to give what we can. And so when I first started giving, I did give for a while, and then I stopped giving because it was difficult living paycheck to paycheck. I totally get that. But I felt like that was really important. So what I did is I actually started giving $5 a week. It's like I can do with $5 a week, and I gave cash. It was just a $5 bill. I just made sure that I always had $5 bills in my wallet. If I had one $5 bill and a 20 and I was buying something for $1, I'd use my $20 bill so that I had a 5. And then I would give $5. And then once I moved home, things got a little bit better as far as being able to give money. I actually upped that to $20 a week. But my original plan was, after I had been giving $5 a week, once I felt like I could give more, then I was going to up that to probably $10. But if that's too much of a jump for you, give a little bit more. And the more you give, the easier it gets. And the more you plan to give, the easier it is too. So if you're budgeting and keeping a close eye on your budget, then giving, make sure that you get that in there. But for me, I could only give $5. That was it. And so that's what I did. And now right now I've upped it to $30 a week. And once I upped it to $20 a week, I made it automated just so that I didn't have to worry about it. It just automatically came out. I know the money's in there because I've been budgeting. I'm no longer so tight on my money. So I just made it automatic. So it just comes out. I don't think about it. I don't like that I don't think about it, but I do think about it when I look at my budget and I plan. So it's planned and I think about it. But and I think about it like when the basket comes around in church, then I'm like, I've already given online. So then I don't worry about it. But I love automation. I don't like it for some things. And I'll like keep things separate so that things don't come out of my main bank account. I have a separate bank account for my student loans because I don't ever want them to accidentally take too much money. So I'm not huge on letting everybody into my bank account to make things automatic, but I have automatic transfers from my main bank account to the other accounts, and then my student loans are automatically withdrawn from those bank accounts, and I get a discount on my interest from my student loans by having it automatically done. And then I never miss a payment, and it's just automatically done. I don't have to worry about it. But so I kind of do the same thing with my my church giving. So hold on. I think I missed a bunch on the chat here, so I'm trying to go back. I got denied for PNC secured card, Discover secured, and Capital One secured. Gonna try a credit union next. Yeah, that's a good idea. I didn't even think about that. But credit unions are a little bit more personable and will work with you quite a bit more than the big banks and credit card companies will. So yeah, try the credit union. I would think with a master's job would be pretty easy to get. Not for teaching. I mean, my master's degree does not allow me to do anything extra than my base degree does. The only difference is that up until last year or the year before, because time goes by fast, I can't remember if it was last year or the year before, but up until then, teachers were required to get their master's within 10 years of teaching. And so I went on ahead and I got my master's, and then they changed it, and that would have been about the time that they took that away would have been about 10 years after I got my first degree. So if I didn't even need my master's. I think it has helped a little bit in some of the schools that I've been in, especially like the private schools that I've been in, because they want that, like, oh, she's extra educated. So I think it's a good thing to have, but it's not something that I absolutely needed. So no, and you actually, I don't know how much they shy away from, because they have to pay me more because I have a master's degree. So I don't know if that makes it harder to get a job. I think it did at first, but at this point, now that I have almost 7 years of experience, I think it's them having to pay me more isn't that big of a deal. But when they had to pay me more and I had no experience, that was a problem. I understand I'm a nanny, and one of my goals was always get a real career, but I see now this is my career and I love it. I was a nanny for a long time, in college and post-college, and I loved it. It was probably my favorite job, and I was so in tune with, like, what the kids were watching because they had, well, she was 2 when I started, nannying her, and she had an older sister at the time, and she was 8, and, let's see, she the younger one was 6 or 7 when they moved, and so I was with that family for a long time, and so the older girl, she was, in her young teens and stuff, and, um, yeah, so I got to know this was, like, High School Musical days, so this was a while ago, but yeah, I was in on all of that stuff. I felt like I was making a big difference in their life, like, personally, and, I did a little bit of teaching because they did a little bit of homeschooling, and so, yeah, and I didn't have to worry about, like, managing a whole class. I loved being a nanny. I did. You can get denied for income. I guess, you might be talking about the secured credit card, 50K. I make 50K. I feel like that's enough for, yeah, that should be enough for a secured card. I would say the same thing. Melody said, I heard of churches checking W-2s at the end of the year to make sure you gave 10%. Yeah, I don't think that that's right. I think that your church giving is between you and God, and if you are doing what God asks of you, then that's fine. And if you're not, then you have to. That's your deal with God. That's not, like, up to your pastor to rule on that. That's my personal opinion. So other people might disagree with me on that. That happened to me when I tried to volunteer in the church. I got denied because of not tithing. Yeah. Hey, how are you? Budgeting Decade of Freedom. Have to go duck out. Okay, bye, Christiana. You might already be gone. I'm so glad you were here too. Hi, Rachel. I've been a silent subscriber for a while, but I just saw your live now. Wanted to say hi. Hi, Lillian. Yeah, we're just kind of chatting, actually. I've gone over everything. I talked about my mom. She's on the transplant list for both a liver and a kidney. And hopefully we'll hopefully have a transplant in the next 3 to 6 months. That's kind of what we're hoping. But she's also doing really, really well. The doctor keeps telling her that if they didn't know how bad she really was, then she wouldn't really be sick enough for a transplant, but they know how bad it really is. And so, excuse me. So she is on the list, but she's just doing really, really well. So that's good. I talked about working a lot and I sold something on Poshmark. I have an interview on Monday. So lots of good things. And then I was also talking about maybe joining a gym, but I'm not 100% certain about that. Maybe do a little bit of gym shopping or something. So we'll see. I've never heard of churches checking W-2s or denying your help from not tithing. Yeah, I've only heard of that, Vanessa, from other people in Dave Ramsey Facebook groups that I'm in. And I don't know if any of you are in those groups. Yeah, so they're very Dave Ramsey. And if you've watched me at all, you know that I'm just like, I hate the term ish. I have a whole video on how I hate the term ish, but just because people use it as almost like a cuss word in the Dave groups, but I am kind of doing my own thing from the base of Dave Ramsey. So I have my baby emergency fund. It's actually only $500. I don't know if any of you know that, but I only have a $500 emergency fund because I'm living at home. And if something happens to my car, actually, you know what? I don't have a spare car anymore. My dad just sold his car to my brother's girlfriend, so don't have another car anymore. But I do use credit cards. I pay them off at the end of the month so that I never pay interest. I don't have any cards that have fees on them, so I never pay extra. A big thing that I have really gotten into is never pay more for something if you don't have to. So if you've got a credit card, make sure you pay it off at the end of each month. And if you can get a discount on something, get a discount. I'm not big on couponing, but yeah, just because most of the time coupons are for things that I'm not really buying, or I'll buy the off-brand anyway. So, but if you can get something, if you can get money off of it, I feel a little bit like I pay less because I get cash back from my credit cards. I don't spend more. Don't let credit cards spend. Don't let them let you spend more. But, I use them to get money back, and I take advantage of them, and they don't get extra from me, at least not anymore. So I love Dave's energy, but he never teaches how to invest. I think part of that is because legally you can't give certain types of advice. Like, you actually legally can't say, like, you need to invest in this stock. I'm not 100% certain about that, but I think you can't do that. Like, unless you are like a stockbroker or a specific investor, and that's not what he does. And then also, like, I think it's kind of like if he gives a certain advice, even if it's advice he follows and something happens, because there's always a risk in the stock market, and there's always at least some risk in that, no matter how safe you try to be. If something happens, they can come back and blame him for that. So I get why he doesn't want to go into too much detail on it, but I've also seen a lot of people talking about his investment advice, just the general advice that he gives, and that it's not always the smartest, but I'm still learning a lot about investing. So I still have a lot to learn, and I'm not in that step yet. And that is one thing I am waiting to invest, although I more and more feel like I should go ahead and start, but I'm trying to wait. I was putting money towards my 401k that I had from my last school. We had a 401k, and I put in 2%, and I got 8% because they did an automatic 4% for us, and then they matched 2%. So I took the match, and so I have some investment in there. But other than that, like and since I don't work there anymore, I'm not investing that anymore. But I'm leaving that investment alone until I get another job, and then I'll decide what to do with it. But other than that, I'm not investing. So I am following that step, but I don't follow all of Dave's steps. I feel like Dave Ramsey is too hard on people with student loans. Yeah, he's really hard, and he gets harder and harder. And that's one thing that kind of turns me off from Dave. I kind of feel like he's said the same things over and over and over for over 25 years now. And I think maybe he's just getting tired of saying the same things, maybe. And so he can be pretty hard on people. And it's not so much Dave being hard on people, because if you're calling up Dave, he has this radio show, he has credibility, and so he has this trust factor that, like, if my dad yells at me for something, I trust his judgment, because my dad is there for, he wants the best for me. And so if Dave is yelling at me, I trust Dave, because he's proven himself with millions maybe of people. I don't know if it's millions, but a lot of people by getting out of debt. And so he has that trust factor. But my thing with his yelling at people is that other fans of his think that it's okay to yell at other people because Dave doesn't. Well, Dave would say it this way, so I can say it this way. And those other people don't have that trust factor that my dad or Dave would have if they were going to yell at me. And so that's kind of my issue with Dave yelling at people. It's like, it's kind of okay that he can do it, but then because he does it, other people do it, and it's not okay for them to do it. And some people need that. And you have to know who needs it and who doesn't. Some people need a soft, gentle, like, it's okay, just pick yourself back up, try again. And then some people need that, like, cut that out, stop doing it. And I mean, like, I'm a teacher. Some kids, you need to say, cut that out right now, and like not giving them an inch. And then some kids need that, it's okay, like, or just try again, like, it's okay. So, you have to know who needs what type of feedback when it comes to making mistakes like that. And I think student loans is just one of those things, like, at least for me, it's kind of like my parents kind of helped me get in that situation. So they didn't know any better, but they were old enough. Maybe they should have known better, but they didn't. And I didn't know any better, but maybe I should have. I don't know. So maybe it's easy to be hard on people when you feel like they should have known better. Yeah. So yeah, he can be really hard on people. Not just with student loans, but yeah, I think he really hates student loans. He doesn't hate the people, but I think he really hates student loans. And I do too. I don't ever want anyone to get student loans if they don't have to. Like, there are lots of different ways to make it through college without student loans. And I don't want anybody to have to get them myself. So I'm not a fan of student loans either. So, but I don't want to yell at the person. I want to yell at the student loans. I started out following him, but I have also started doing my own things too. Yeah. I say, do what's best for you. I also follow Dave Ramsey, maybe not to the T like some people, but my modified way works for me. Hey, Rebecca's here. Hello, Justifier. Yeah, I think there's a lot of people in the Facebook groups that don't follow Dave to a T. I think most people don't. Excuse me, and hold on. I actually had a comment of mine taken down and flagged because somebody was asking about, they didn't want to stop investing. I think that's what it was. They didn't want to stop investing. And I told them, cut back on your investing instead of like not getting on the plan at all. Try cutting back on your investing and then going from there. And my comment was flagged and said that I wasn't following Dave's plan, and that if I got another one or something, then I don't know if it's one or two more strikes against me, then I would be removed from the group. Yeah, so I try not to comment very much on there anymore because yeah, I mean, like, if somebody's like, well, I don't want to stop investing, so I'm not going to follow his plan at all, or, well, maybe I could meet you halfway and at least I'm getting started on this plan. I think getting started is better than not doing anything at all because you don't want to do this one thing. So you have to do what's best for you. Personal finance is personal. Everybody is different. Everybody's emotions that attach them to money or scare them away from money is different. And everybody reacts to different things differently. Everyone has different needs. Everybody has different bills. It depends on where you live. It depends on your job. It just depends on so many factors. And so a set plan like he has is just not. It's just not. Like, it just doesn't work for everyone. Now, his general outline, it's a great outline to tweak it to what fits to you, but he's not going to make lots of money and get lots of credit if he allows everybody to just do their own thing. So I can kind of get why he would say that from a marketing aspect, that you have to follow his plan or else you're not following his plan. But when it comes to other people and maybe even him saying, you're not going to make it, you're not going to get out of debt unless you follow this exact plan, that's not true either. So, you're right. It's illegal to give advice on certain advice. Yeah. Certain stocks. I'm saving up to buy a fourplex and house hack it. That's actually what I want to do. I don't know about a fourplex, but once I finish paying off my debt and start saving up for a house, I've already talked to my dad about it. I think I want to get at least a duplex, and I may or may not live in the second spot. Oh goodness, excuse me. Actually, I think what I might consider doing is renting out one side, living in the other side, but doing like Airbnb and renting out my house whenever anybody wants it. and I can make a ton of money for an Airbnb at Derby time. And then I can just like stay at my parents' house whenever somebody else is staying in my place. So that I'm considering that because I think that that would be an awesome thing. And my uncle, my dad's brother, actually, he did that a long time ago. He currently lives in a duplex. He lives in the back side, and then the front side he rents out. And then he's had that for as long as I can remember. And he's done really well with that. He did a lot of like he's a very handy person too, so he does a lot of repairs and all of that stuff himself. And so my dad was like, well, talk to your uncle, he can help you out with that. So I have somebody on my side with that if I need it. But I'm still a couple of years away from that anyway. But yeah, I'd like to do the same thing. A fourplex scares me. That sounds a little too big to start out with, but maybe eventually I might get there. My best friend's mother was waiting on a liver transplant list for a while. She got extremely sick in a bad way, but she finally got the transplant and she's doing well now. That's really good. I'm so glad she's doing well. My mom actually knows somebody that she died while waiting on the transplant list. And that was a huge concern of my mom's when we first started getting on this transplant journey. I'll tell you who annoys me is Dave Ramsey's daughter. She's such an obvious case of nepotism. I think she also comes across as fake. I don't know. I really like Rachel, but maybe that's because her name is Rachel and I just connect to that. But she tries to go for like a younger demographic, which is perfect. Like that makes sense because Dave's older and might not appeal to younger people, and she's younger and can appeal to younger people. And I mean, yeah, I guess it's nepotism, but when your dad owns the company, there's lots of moving companies like, I don't know, Anderson and Sons. I totally made up Andersons, but you've got like and law firms and stuff that it happens all the time. And I mean, I don't see why that would be any different. But he's also, even if it's his daughter, like he's not gonna keep her on if she's not doing a good job. And so I don't know, she must be doing a good job if he's gonna keep her on, because yeah, Dave's not gonna, he wouldn't keep her if she wasn't doing a good job. And I think she is. I used to watch her channel a lot more often, but I don't make time for it as much as I used to. I've really shied away just from Dave in general, just because his aggressive demeanor just seems to be getting worse. So I still advocate for his plan for people when they're first starting out trying to get out of debt. I'll point them in Dave's direction and stuff, but I don't really watch him that often myself. And I know his steps, back and forth, so I don't really worry about it too much. Investing 1 to 2% pre-tax will probably leave you with the same take-home pay as not taking out anything at all. So that's what I do. Yeah, I calculated it out, and I can't remember if it was $30 a paycheck or $30 a month that I was kind of leaving out because I was investing. And I don't even know if I took taxes into consideration. So it might even be less, because I think it might be pre-tax. Post-tax? I don't even know. I'm not very good with investing, so don't ask me. But yeah, I was like, that's not that much. I can do without that in my budget. So yeah, I felt like it was worth it for the match. And that's a big thing. Like if you can afford it in your budget, if you're living paycheck to paycheck and investing in a company-wide investment plan, but you're living paycheck to paycheck, then you might want to consider backing out of that so that you can have a little bit more money in your paycheck. But if you've if you're fine with your budget and you can do without a little bit, then I think that it's worth the investing if there's a match, like 100%. My school actually had a half match, and I was very tempted to take the half match. Like I could have put in another, I don't know, 2 to 4%, and then they would half match it. And I feel like I should have done that, but I didn't. So I was a little torn on that, so I didn't do that. From what I've seen, Dave Ramsey's other daughter also works in the family business. It's just less visible. No, I didn't know that, Lynn. Yeah, I kind of wondered where she was, but like what she did. I was just curious, but for some reason I'm thinking I thought she was a teacher, but I don't know. I have no idea. I've not heard about her being in the family business, but that doesn't mean anything. My work Wi-Fi being dumb. I'm here, but keep hopping in and out. That's okay. I do feel like Rachel Cruz tends to regurgitate Dave's plan. She does. And anybody else that is aligned with Dave, so like Chris Hogan and is that Anthony O'Neill, I think, and there's somebody else. Anybody that works for him must adhere 100% to everything he says and cannot deviate in any way. So like Chris Hogan is all about retiring because he's got, Retire Inspired. It's all about retiring, but that's after steps 1, 2, and 3. And then you can step 4 when you start investing and retiring. That's when you can listen to Chris Hogan. But I mean, you can listen to him, but don't take his advice until you're in step 4, like that kind of thing. So they have to align with him 100%. But again, they're under his umbrella, they're under his name, and he has this plan set out, and he can't just let anybody say what they want to say about money if they're going to be working for him. It has to do with marketing, and I understand that because that's his thing. I kind of understand it. Why wouldn't you work in your dad's business? I would if my dad had, well, actually my dad does have a business. My dad has a tax business, but I don't know anything about taxes. And, I honestly though, I would like for him to teach me. And I've actually asked him about helping him out with taxes, and I don't have to do all the work, but as far as sorting and organizing things that people give him, or, I've actually talked to him about working for him. But it's my dad's business. He does taxes, and that's his business. And he it's such a small business that he doesn't really need any help. So he hasn't let me help him yet. But I've asked to work for my dad. So if he ever needs help, his other daughter runs the company charity. Oh, I didn't know that. From what I'm aware, I think it's the charity side. Oh, he just said the same thing. Does his son do anything in the business? Or is his son still in college or just graduate? I wonder if his son does anything. Too true on Ramsey people, yeah. I feel like all Chris Hogan says is get a SmartVestor Pro so they can rob you. Yeah, I've heard some interesting things about the SmartVestor Pros and that side of things not being the best, but I don't have any personal experience in that, so I'm not going to say anything to that. I think his son does something. Okay, so I don't know. I was just kind of curious since I really thought his other daughter was a teacher or something. I don't know where I got that information. All right, I think I'm starting to lose my voice, so I might have to let you go. And then I also need to get to bed. Tomorrow is the last day at Keeneland. Super excited not to drive anymore. The dogs apparently need to go out. They're probably going to start barking soon. Hold on, JJ. It's okay. I don't know if you can hear her. She's freaking out. She does that a lot, so that's not unusual. It's all right. Hold on. I do give the Ramsey YouTube channel credit for getting me more focused on getting debt free, and I am now accept mortgage, though I did it Davish, and the ish part worked for me. I mean, yeah, you can still do it being ish. You can still do it. And that's the thing that gets me when people are like, you're not following the plan, so you're not winning. It's not true. Like, you can still win. And lots of people get out of debt without ever hearing about Dave Ramsey. So, I don't know. I went to a SmartVestor Pro who was like, once you get out of debt, I can help you and charge me 5.8%. Yeah. Yeah, I think like in order for the SmartVestor Pros to be on his plan, then like they have to promise that they will only let people invest if they're debt free, because that's his plan. So I get why he sticks to it, but that doesn't mean I have to. So I am actually Melody V. Justine at Debt Free Millennials had the same experience. ELP charging her 5% fee. I don't know what fees are normal, so that sounds like it's really high. I'm thinking it should be like what, 1%, 1 to 2%, or less than 1%. I'm not sure. I'll stick with Vanguard at 0.14%. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I just learned something. So okay. Yeah. I will look for definitely less than 1%. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go. I gotta let the dogs out, and thank you so much for joining me. And this was really, really fun. Lots of great chat, and actually, like, my voice is starting to go because I'm talking so much, and I love it. It's great. So thank you so much for joining me and for chatting it up with me. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I guess have a good night. So bye. Hold on, Lucy. I'm letting you out.